on another episode of What Is This Idiot Doing, I moved some stuff around. So I took the E3000 VFD that was on this machine and I put it over on my other machine that I do majority work on. The issue with that VFD is this front panel, it doesn't work. I can't control the spindle from the machine. This VFD I can, but its limitation is that it is limited to the slowest speed of 5,000 RPM. So when I used to do my edge finding, I made a video about this little guy here, which uses a 1/4 inch collet. And that's what I used to use on this machine. The E3000 spindle would give me 1,000 RPM as the lowest speed, which is fine for this. I can't go above 1,500 RPM on this, otherwise it'll fly apart. So by changing, I had to come out with another idea of doing my edge finding. And that's where this episode comes in. Mach3 has a video plug-in which allows you to use a USB camera, which is this guy. This is the upgraded one. It used to be in this housing here, and this little post that came with it, I've had this thing for years and it's never really worked. It was never repeatable, but it's got 3 set screws that allow you to adjust it to get it on target. But with this housing, all they did was drill a hole here, and you can see where the 3 set screws were hitting the back of this. Well, this is really flimsy plastic. And I was having a conversation with my wife, of all things, and I was explaining to her what issues I was having, because with this housing, if I took it out and I put it back in, it was not repeatable. So, in her infinite wisdom, which was amazing, she said, make it stronger. Such a simple idea. So what I think was happening was when you put pressure on these 3 points, this housing was flexing. Temperature change and cheap plastic, it just never was repeatable. So that's where this housing came in. And the thing that makes this housing different, obviously it's thicker, but under the base I've got a recessed washer in there. So the screws are not pressing on plastic, which can deform. They're pressing on a steel washer, which hopefully holds its, I guess you would say, 0 point. I tried doing this in Fusion, and I'm not going to lie, I suck at Fusion. So then I went back to what I know. And this has got some pockets and some cavities and stuff inside, and some little pillars for the screws to go into. And it really was not a complicated part. I actually did 0 modeling, 3D modeling to make this. What I did was I jumped into Aspire, and here's the back side of it. Here's the pocket for the washer. And if we zoom out, we can come up here and see all the lines that I used to make the front. And if we go into the 3D view, this is the front panel. You can see the pockets for the LEDs, the opening for the lens, the pocket for the plastic housing of the lens, the PCB cutout, and the holes for the screws. And essentially this is just 2 mirrored pieces, and I did this 1 tool path at a time. So essentially we have the tool path for the inner pocket. We got the LED pockets, the lens pocket, one of them. This is the recess here. Here's the through hole that goes all the way through the part. Let's see, what else do we have? We have the screw holes and the PCB pocket. So that was it. And I just basically did this twice, except on the back side I didn't have these cutouts. So no 3D modeling at all. And what you're looking at here is nothing more than a render of the toolpath simulation. So if I hit reset preview, all we have is a block of material. we'll run that. So there's that pocket complete. Now if we do the LED pockets, here's the first lens pocket. The through hole for the lens. The little pocket for the PCB. And the screw holes. So essentially there's no 3D modeling, it's just all 2D pockets. It was running a full simulation and I stopped it. That's why we have this garbage here. Anyway, I did that for the top and the bottom and was able to put it together. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this set up in the machine and basically show you what we're working with. I'm set up now. I've got my little dot on my anodized piece of aluminum. Got the camera up, got it plugged into the little Latte Panda. We're going to come over here and go to plug-in control. Now I am using Klause's webcam plug-in. I disabled the original one that was on Mach 3. It's decent. This has just got a little bit more features that I really like. So we're going to go to start camera. And we get our view here. As you can see, I'm lined up really good around that dot. One of the things I love about this little plug-in is you can come over here and you can actually adjust the size of the circle that it's displaying. So you can get that right on the cut here. And I haven't got this thing dialed in completely yet. You can still see got a little sliver of silver showing here, so I need to move over just a little bit, which I can do with those set screws. One thing I do want to mention is this camera has a manual focusing lens on it. And if we grab our wireless keyboard, we got a brand new wireless keyboard. Okay, and we go up and we rotate this ring here. Focus. There we go. When you rotate this ring, the bad part about that is so I just turned it a little bit. And so we're going to come back here and we're going to come down till it's in focus. You can see just by moving the lens, it threw everything off. So if I wanted to maintain this focal distance, I would have to go in and readjust it. Which, let me go ahead and do that now. Alright, I got it pretty decent. It's not perfect yet, but it'll work for what I'm trying to show here. So if we turn the camera I know that if I turn the camera this direction to where my cord is facing the back of the machine, and I stick my finger under here, you can see my finger under the back side. So that's the correct orientation for my machine. So now if I just tell Mach 3 to G0, X0, Y0, let me get rid of this window so we can see what's going on here. If we rotate it and lock it in, you can see that it is orientated on the corner of my vise. And if I rotate the camera, that corner doesn't really move on the crosshairs. It's not exactly perfect yet, but I could use this to come in and find and get it exactly right over the corner of my vise that I'm going to use for my X0, Y0 point. Now, repeatability. I don't know, I just got done with it today, but I have a thought. If I took an anodized aluminum piece of material, and when I home the machine, if it's at its 000 point, machine home, I would probably have to move this up here so I could put my aluminum piece down there. When it's sitting at its 0 points, machine coordinates wise, stick an end mill in there and go make that dot. And anytime I want to check the camera for calibration, as long as my home switches never move, I can just put the camera in, home the machine, jog it down to where it's in focus, and make sure that it's on the crosshairs. Make sure it's still centered. Then I can come over here and line up and find the X and Y 0 points. Now, as we can see here, the spindle moves freely. And you really want it to be locked in an orientation. Just got an email. So what I have bastardized and found is I've just got a worm clamp I can stick over the body. I had to move my spindle down, and this black ring, which rotates when the spindle rotates, stick that up on there, tighten this down to where it's tight, or get it to where it's snug, find the exact straight up and down, left to right as far as the crosshairs go, lock it in place. Then I can come over here and jog to where those crosshairs line up with that point, and the horizontal and vertical lines line up with my jaw face. So I think it's going to be doable. I'm going to play with it some more. My wife had a great idea. She said make it stronger, so I did, and this is where we're at. So before I put the camera in the spindle, what I'm going to do is I've got a piece of anodized aluminum here. A piece of painted would work as well, but it's just for contrast. I've got a 1/16 flat end mill, and I've moved over X 12 millimeters, Y minus 12 millimeters. It's just so I get a point. Right now my fixture offset, or my 0 point, is this edge and this edge. So my 0 point is right over this corner, and this gives me a known 0 point. I'm going to come down and I'm just going to kiss it to put a circle right there, and then I'm going to put the camera in and I'm going to dial it in to where it's over the center of that circle. So let me get that done real quick.